Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our weekly review of Queen Modjadji Season 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 7 picks up following Raisibe's triumph over Mmamaila, who she believes to be dead. Dzugudini arrived at the site of Mmammaila's supposed demise. However, Mmamaila was not there, just his blood and his weapon. Raisibe followed Dzugudini, who met up with her co-conspirator, Tibule. She reported Mmamaila's failure, forcing Tibule to wash his hands of her, warning her that the royal guard will be looking for her soon if they don't find Mmamaila. Raisibe continued following Dzugudini and watched her as she plotted with Mmamaila's supporters. She also led Raisibe to the hiding place of the stolen rain-making beads. Meanwhile, a royal council meeting was held, where the council argued over the inclusion of a female in the royal council. After the royal council meeting, Mselekwane grew increasingly worried about Raisibe, but Raisibe finally returned, requesting that the queen come with her so she can show her what she'd uncovered. Raisibe and Mselekwane witnessed Dzugudini and Mmamaila's biggest supporter, Mudiga, plotting against the queen. After Mudiga left, Mselekwane confronted her mother for her devious ways. Raisibe and Kadikolo then arrived with the royal guards and arrested Dzugudini. The following day, the royal council convened for Dzugudini's trial, where they all agreed to sentence her to death for her treason. However, the queen spared her mother, banishing her instead. While in captivity, Dzugudini escaped, raising alarm in the settlement. While they searched for the fugitive, news began to spread that Mmamaila had met his fate at the jaws of a leopard. Khaidikulu tried to gift him Selokwane Mambo's dagger as a reminder of how close she came to death. However, Mselekwane rejected the gift, and to Khaidikulu's shock, she declared that their ancestors will protect her. Meanwhile, at the Bapedi royal settlement, Mmamaila's mother reported to his pregnant wife that he was no more, triggering her to go into labor. The episode ends with Mmamaila's wife giving birth to his son and declared that he will pick up where his father left off. I still don't believe Mmamaila has been killed off already, but if he has, they've given him a terrible treatment. I like the twist with him leaving a son behind, but they didn't give him enough to do and honestly made him look weak. I wish the show had made him more of a threat. Instead, they turned him into Dzugudini's errand boy. He didn't even get an honorable death, and that's if he's actually dead. There's a likelihood that he's still alive and maybe faked his death. We got a much more engaging episode today. However, there were still some shortcomings. The queen finally got more screen time, and I enjoyed all of her scenes. It looks like slowly but surely she's becoming her own person, independent of Kadikolo. However, I'm a bit confused with Dzugudini stealing the rain-making beads. It wasn't really acknowledged they were missing until this episode. Maybe they just used it to mirror the story of the first Dzugudini, the founder of the Lovedu tribe, who had an affair with her brother and was banished. Upon her banishment, she fled with the Mambo sacred rain-making beads. I personally feel like they should have given more context with regards to the first Dzugudini. I also didn't understand the debate over whether a woman should be in the royal council because Dzugudini had sat at the royal council and Khaidikulu is also pretty much a member of the royal council. She speaks more than some of the members there and has even led most of the meetings. I also didn't get the significance of Mambo's dagger. It did appear that they were alleging Dzugudini killed him, which would be weird because they already announced that he died by his own hand. It would have been a good storyline for them to frame her for Mambo's murder or just commit and let Dzugudini be the one to end Mambo. It would have been supported by the historical accounts of a female rebel named Nyamazuma who killed the Mambo, took over the throne, and married the leader of an invading army a few years later. The show has already adapted parts of this story with Mambo's prophecy, and I think they should have leaned into it a bit more. Characters like Keyale and Mpabanchi have also disappeared without any explanation, and some of the characters like Tobile, I feel like the show could have done without. Dzugudini already had enough motivation to be a villain. However, before the season premiered, Khaidikolo was being marketed as a villain, but it seems like Dzugudini has taken up that mantle. One character that I really liked in the past few episodes is Mudiga, Mmamaila's main supporter in the Royal Council. He really played his role with consistency despite the limited screen time. Although I had a lot of notes today, this episode was an improvement on previous weeks. There's 5 episodes left, and I expect a time jump in the next one to age up Mmamaila's son. We'll be back next week with another review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.